Tonight, breaking news as we come on the air. Ron DeSantis suspends his presidential campaign, dwindling it down to a two-person race for the GOP nomination. The Florida governor, once seen as the strongest challenger to Donald Trump, is now endorsing the former president. Less than a week after losing by 30 points in Iowa, DeSantis drops out of the race, saying it's clear a majority of Republicans want to give Trump another chance. The bombshell announcement comes as Trump and Nikki Haley sharpen their attacks on each other. Haley now claims the former president is experiencing cognitive decline after appearing to confuse Haley with former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Rachel Scott's in New Hampshire with what this means just 2 days before the New Hampshire primary. Also tonight, American troops targeted. Attacks on a U.S. airbase in Iraq now raise concerns about a wider conflict. This all comes just days after the Pentagon ordered a sixth round of airstrikes against Houthi rebels inside Yemen. The strikes from the U.S. are not deterring the Iranian-backed rebels, as their attacks on ships in the Red Sea cause a massive ripple effect in the global supply chain. The grim death toll in Gaza, more than 25,000 dead since the beginning of the war with Israel, according to the Hamas-run health ministry. The Israeli prime minister is rejecting calls to immediately stop the war. Our Inez de la Quatara is aboard a French hospital ship docked off the coast of Egypt, tending to the injured. And our Matt Gutman takes us inside the Hamas tunnel network where Israeli hostages were held. Bitter cold keeping its grip on the South. Water pipes bursting in the frigid temperatures as cities struggle to restore service. A warm-up is coming, but so are new dangers, including possible flooding later in the work week. Our weather team times it out. The battle over border security, with cities like Chicago overwhelmed by the number of migrants arriving daily. What's holding up a deal on immigration, and when legislators could put it up for a vote? New health concerns for the Duchess of York. After being treated for breast cancer, Sarah Ferguson gets yet another potentially dangerous diagnosis. And America strong tonight. After 5 feet of snow, the snow angels who showed up to dig out.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us on this busy Sunday. I'm Lindsay Davis. Just before coming on the air, a major shakeup in the Republican race for the White House. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, once considered former President Trump's main rival, has dropped out of the race. DeSantis came in a distant second in Iowa, despite visiting all 99 of the state's counties leading up to the Iowa caucus just 6 days ago. And polls showed him trailing far behind Trump and Haley in New Hampshire. In a video just released by the Florida governor, he threw his support behind the former president just 2 days before the first-in-the-nation primary. Trump welcomed the endorsement while campaigning in the Granite State tonight, and he's stepping up his attacks on former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley. Haley is also there and hitting Trump hard, questioning the 77-year-old's mental fitness to lead the nation. ABC's senior congressional correspondent Rachel Scott leads us off with the latest developments from the campaign trail.
He was thought to be the future of the Republican Party and Donald Trump's toughest rival. But tonight, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis suddenly suspending his presidential campaign.
If there was anything I could do to produce a favorable outcome, more campaign stops, more interviews, I would do it. But I can't ask our supporters to volunteer their time and donate their resources if we don't have a clear path to victory.
One of our opponents, very capable person, is dropping out. Ron DeSantis.
The Florida governor, who just days ago said Trump's indictments sucked the oxygen out of the race, now endorsing the former president with just 2 days until the New Hampshire primary.
Well, I've had disagreements with Donald Trump, such as on the coronavirus pandemic and his elevation of Anthony Fauci. Trump is superior to the current incumbent, Joe Biden.
And so the Republican primary is down to a two-person race.
I want to say to Ron, he ran a great race. He's been a good governor, and we wish him well. Having said that, it's now one fella and one lady left.
But Trump is only widening his lead over Nikki Haley, with 50% of support among likely Republican primary voters. Haley at just 39, according to a new CNN University of New Hampshire poll.
If Donald Trump beats you Tuesday night by more than 10 points, is it game over? Are you heading to South Carolina?
We're going home to South Carolina. We're going to crisscross the state that I love so much. So we're not backing out anytime soon.
Trump ramping up his attacks on his former UN ambassador, insisting she's not tough enough.
She wouldn't be good for this job. I can tell you that right now.
And Haley calling out this moment when Trump talking about January 6th appeared to confuse her with Nancy Pelosi.
Because of lots of things, like Nikki Haley is in charge of security. We offered her 10,000 people, soldiers, National Guard, whatever they want. They turned it down.
Haley questioning if Trump is fit to serve.
The concern I have is I'm not saying anything derogatory, but when you're dealing with the pressures of a presidency, we can't have someone else that we question whether they're mentally fit to do this.
The Trump campaign saying tonight it is honored to have the endorsement of Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, calling on the party to unite behind the former president. But make no mistake about it, Nikki Haley told me that she is very much still in this race. She is running out of time, though, to catch Trump with just 2 days to go until the New Hampshire primary, Lindsay.
Haley certainly ratcheting up her attacks on Trump. Rachel, thank you. We turn now to the attack on an American airbase in Iraq. A top White House official says the administration is taking the incident at the airbase in western Iraq very seriously. A number of American service personnel are being evaluated for possible traumatic brain injury. ABC's Mary Alice Parks joins us now from the White House. Mary Alice, what are officials saying?
Yeah, Lindsay, this was a serious attack against U.S. troops. U.S. Central Command saying that militants backed by Iran fired multiple ballistic missiles and rockets at a joint U.S.-Iraqi base, and that some were intercepted by the base's air defense system, but that some others made it through, and that now, like you said, multiple U.S. military personnel are being evaluated for possible traumatic brain injuries. There have been 140 attacks like this against U.S. troops in the last 3 months. Though this may very well be the worst. And what we are seeing is possibly a widening of the war between Israel and Hamas. These militants, like the Houthis in Yemen, are backed by Iran, an ally of Hamas, and they say that their attacks are in response to that war. Now, this weekend, the U.S. Troops, we know, conducted more airstrikes against the Houthis to try to protect those shipping lanes. You can see here carriers forced to change routes. Now, the big question, will the U.S. respond more directly to Iran? I can tell you that today White House officials were very cautious, very tight-lipped on this, but they did say that deterrence will take time. It is not a light switch as they try to retaliate and degrade these other groups. Lindsay?
Yeah, many on edge about all this. Mary Alice from the White House, thanks so much. The death toll in Gaza is now more than 25,000. That's according to the Hamas-run Gaza Ministry of Health. Amid the fighting, tonight our team on the ground sent these images from a hospital in Khan Yunis. ABC's Matt Gutman just back from Gaza, where he had a rare look inside tunnels where the IDF says they were used to hide some of the hostages.
Even from inside this armored vehicle, the scars of war are visible everywhere in the Gazan city of Khan Yunis.
Pretty much all the roads around us are obliterated, and many of the houses are too.
A grim milestone marked in the conflict today. More than 25,000 killed in Gaza, according to the Hamas-run health ministry. As the Israeli military continues its campaign against Hamas, it says it's also focused on finding the hostages. Israel believes many of them are hidden in tunnels hollowed out beneath middle-class neighborhoods like this. The IDF taking us to this home, we duck into the hole in the floor, then down 4 sets of stairs.
We're about 60 feet under a neighborhood in Khan Yunis, and there's this massive sprawl of tunnels right beneath where people were living.
See how well manufactured it is. Concrete arches above, concrete on the side. You can see all the different wires, coax, power.
There's a half-mile straightaway, then it opens to this large vaulted room.
These look like they held some sort of weaponry. It says RPG.
And a hallway leading to what Israel says were cells for hostages.
You can see a pillow, mattress, bathroom on the other end. They said they found articles of women's clothing and DNA that they've matched to hostages.
The IDF says about 20 hostages were held here and that it continues to search for the more than 100 hostages still in captivity.
Is it absolutely necessary to have leveled so much of the Gaza Strip and make life virtually impossible for the people who are left here to live?
Israel doesn't seek destruction, but we need to fight this kind of a terror base that was built underneath a neighborhood.
Meantime, the war grinds on. More than 60,000 wounded, Among them, 16-year-old Abdul Rahman Iyad, who Arnès de la Couture met aboard a French hospital ship docked off Egypt. He's one of the very few able to leave for treatment. He says an Israeli airstrike obliterated his home in central Gaza. Almost all my family is gone, he says. My mom, my dad, and siblings. I'm the only survivor left from the family. Today, Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu saying the war will continue on all fronts. Video from southern Lebanon capturing the aftermath of an apparent Israeli drone strike on a vehicle carrying Hezbollah militants. And Lindsay, tonight, in response to President Biden saying he believes they can work something out on the two-state solution, Netanyahu contradicting the president, saying that as long as he's Prime Minister of Israel, he will firmly oppose the establishment of any Palestinian state. Lindsay.
Fundamental differences there, Matt. Thank you. Here at home, bitter cold weather still has its grip on much of the country. The deep freeze is creating havoc on the roads. This tractor trailer in Pennsylvania spinning out of control on an icy road. And in Tennessee, first responders heading out for a call got stuck on the ice. Fortunately, no one was hurt. And there are now growing concerns for the Deep South. Here's ABC's Alex Presha.
A dangerous deep freeze gripping much of the country this weekend. The bone-chilling temps reaching the Deep South, where crews in Memphis race to repair inoperable pipes. Nearly 400,000 customers urged to boil their water.
This is a very big problem, and it needs to be fixed.
Thousands in Alabama as well. Officials there distributing water saying recent winter weather has made things worse. At least 67 people have died due to the winter weather this week, many from hypothermia. In New Orleans, freeze warnings forced residents to wrap their pipes this weekend.
I wrap them as best I can and just let it go.
Much of the South struggling to deal with the frigid temperatures and icy roads. And in the Midwest, this snowplow in Missouri flipped completely on its back. The driver rushed to the hospital. In Northwest Indiana, digging out from some 3 feet of snow.
It's a lot of snow. It's a lot of work. I thought that the trucks and all that was going to be shoveling all night, and it was going to give me some light work this morning. But no, the snow won.
The brutal cold taking its toll in the Northeast as well. 23 lost skiers and snowboarders had to be rescued in frigid temperatures in Vermont this weekend. Lindsay.
All right, Alex Presha, need you to go in and get warm. In the meantime, let's bring in ABC News meteorologist Samara Theodore. Samara, we are feeling for you out in these brutal conditions. What can we expect this week?
Lindsay, well, what lies ahead is a much-needed warm-up, with some cities reaching above average for this time of year. Memphis will jump into the 60s on Wednesday, and Tampa swings for the 80s by midweek. Now, we're also watching a storm moving through the heartland on Monday. It's set to bring wintry weather from Chicago to Little Rock. Fayetteville could see ½ inch of ice. Now, in the southern tier of the storm, we will see plenty of rain in the Gulf Coast states Monday through Thursday, and this will be a multi-rain event. There is a significant flood threat with this storm, Lindsay. 5 to 8 inches of rain is possible, with some areas seeing more.
Some concerns already about flooding as a result of that, Samara. Thank you. Now to the battle over the border. Bipartisan negotiators appear to be inching closer to a deal on funding as some Democratic cities are facing increased pressure. ABC's Jay O'Brien reports in tonight from Washington.
Tonight, anticipation on Capitol Hill for that long-awaited bipartisan immigration deal that could be finalized as early as this week after months of negotiations in the Senate. The top Republican in that chamber, Mitch McConnell, saying last week a deal could be days away. After a high-stakes White House meeting between President Biden and congressional leaders, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer telling reporters both sides are close.
I think there was broad agreement in the room that we had to do this in a bipartisan way.
President Biden throwing his support behind the talks, which started after congressional Republicans demanded changes to U.S. immigration policy before supporting additional military aid for Ukraine and Israel.
So I believe we need significant policy changes at the border, including changes in our asylum system, and I'm ready to act.
But in the House, conservative Speaker Mike Johnson is holding out for hardline border security measures, speaking directly with former President Trump, who's been pressuring Republicans not to compromise.
President Trump is not wrong. He and I have been talking about this pretty frequently.
Meantime, Chicago officials warning city shelters are bursting at the seams as Texas continues to send hundreds of migrants a day from the border to Democrat-led cities. And tonight, another tragedy at the border. Texas state troopers recovering the body of an unidentified man from the Rio Grande near Shelby Park in Eagle Pass, not far from where a mother and her 2 children drowned just last week trying to cross a treacherous section of the river.
And Lindsay, while Senate leaders say they believe there could be a vote on an immigration deal in the coming days, there's been nothing put down on paper yet, and no agreement has been released. Lindsay.
One of the most divisive issues in American politics right now. Jay, thank you. We turn now to a bizarre story out of Colorado. Nearly all of the copies of a small town newspaper were stolen after it published a story about an alleged sexual assault at the home of the police chief. ABC's Jacqueline Lee has those details.
Tonight, a small Colorado town outraged. Hundreds of its newspapers stolen just hours after publishing a front-page story alleging a 17-year-old girl was raped at the police chief's house. The Ouray County plain dealer detailing felony sexual assault charges against 3 teenagers stemming from an alleged underage drinking party last year at the home of Police Chief Jeff Wood, who the paper reports was asleep at the time. Woods did not respond to ABC News' request for comment. After discovering the theft, the paper's co-owner and publisher Mike Wiggins wrote on X, "If you hoped to silence or intimidate us, you failed miserably." The papers were returned less than 12 hours later. The Ouray County Sheriff's Office posting on Facebook, the suspect is not a member or relative of local law enforcement and not associated with the defendants in the recent reported sexual assault. The office also says it is not investigating the incident to remove any perception of bias. Lindsay, the Colorado Bureau of Investigation says the arrest warrants are sealed and it is not releasing any additional information due to the juvenile victim. Now, ABC News reached out to all of the defendants' attorneys. They did not respond to our request for comment. Lindsay.
Jacqueline, thank you. And this just in, ABC News has learned that the U.S. military has ended an exhaustive 10-day search and rescue mission for those 2 missing Navy SEALs in the Gulf of Aden. Both men fell into the water during a dangerous nighttime boarding mission to intercept a boat suspected of carrying Iranian-made weapons for Yemen's Houthi rebels. And we still have much more ahead on World News Tonight this Sunday. The Duchess of York's new health scare months after she was treated for breast cancer. Plus, a scary scene on the court as a fan collides with the National Player of the Year. Next tonight, Sarah Ferguson, Duchess of York, reveals she is once again battling cancer. The former wife of Britain's Prince Andrew has been diagnosed with malignant melanoma, a dangerous form of skin cancer. Ferguson, who is 64, was treated for breast cancer last summer. Her publicist called this latest diagnosis distressing, but said the Duchess is in good spirits. And when we come back, the puppy that won over the world and the surgery that changed her life. To the index now, in a scary situation today involving the top player in women's college basketball. Iowa's Caitlin Clark was blindsided by an Ohio State fan, one of hundreds who stormed the court after their upset win over Iowa. Clark fell to the ground. She later told reporters she had the wind knocked out of her, but she's okay. Her coach said that just should not happen. Next, a life-changing operation for a puppy who won over hearts around the world. Ariel, a spaniel born with 6 legs, was found abandoned in Britain last September. A flood of donations soon poured in, enough to pay for surgery to remove her extra limbs. Ariel is now adjusting well, getting around just fine on her 4 legs. And when we come back, America Strong, new meaning to the term snow angels. Finally, America Strong, an SOS is answered.
To me, these are my angels. I told them they're my angels.
Snow angels of a different sort, who work with a national nonprofit organization called 8 Days of Hope.
Our hope is just to love people and serve people and remove some of the challenges that they're going through right now with this heavy snowfall.
The group responds to disasters across the country. And after lake-effect snowstorms dumped more than 5 feet of snow on parts of Buffalo this past week.
It was snowing here for days. I mean, we didn't get any breaks. The roof has so much snow on it, it's just coming down. It's just, I'm worried about my roof.
These volunteers came to the rescue, clearing mounds of snow off sidewalks, driveways, even rooftops.
Mentally, it feels great. Sometimes physically, we're a little sore, but you know.
Despite the frigid temperatures, these residents have a warm spot for the volunteers and their willingness to dig in and help out.
This is big. This is so big for me, for us, yeah, for the community, actually. I'm just so thankful that they have people that do this come out and help people.
It feels good. It kind of gives a sense of purpose, and also being able to see the look in someone's eye when you've helped them.
Heartwarming. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Lindsay Davis. See you tomorrow on GMA. Until then, good night.
Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir America's most watched newscast.